All
All
right,
right, let's
intro
go.
me.
All right, intro. Born and raised in Bradford, England. Bradford, England, not Ontario. His love of punk rock led him to enlightenment on his 17th birthday with a gift of his very first guitar. With the help of a former residence friend from Western University. I mean, of course, he went to London, Ontario for school. And well-placed advertisement, the beginnings of the now Canadian power band Our Lady Peace was born. With a triple platinum album, quadruple platinum album, and the ever so perfect album Clumsy, as well as Diamond album, achieving that status. Our very special guest today has swum the waters and sailed among some of the most successful rock artists to ever come out of this country. Leaving the band officially in 2001, he went on to have continued success with Crash Karma, a Canadian supergroup featuring Jeff Burrows from the Tea Party, Edwin from My Mother Earth, and solo, and my good friend Amir from the infectiously groovy Indo-Toronto band Zygote. Now embedded in his love of producing, he's at the helm. He was at the helm of his own studio, The Pocket, where he produced award-winning music. He's opened for Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, toured with Van Halen. He's won multiple music awards with multiple bands. He's even been a hologram. And as if, see what I did there? We get to chat with one of the most individualistically styled guitarists, a recent Canada Walk of Fame inductee. Please welcome Mr. Mike Turner.
Yay.
Yay!
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much
Awesome.
for
Thanks for
coming
coming on.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
And
Want to jump right into this? Let's do it, right? With the
Do it, man.
questions?
Hit me.
Okay. So when you Wikipedia, one of the first things that comes up actually is about the guitar that your mom bought for you when you started. And we'd be curious if you still have that, number one, and what kind of guitar was it?
Funnily, there's a couple of twists here. The Wikipedia is a little inaccurate here and there, but that's okay. I'll stay away from it. Funnily enough, when I was a kid in the UK, I would have been about 12, 13. There was another, maybe I wanted a guitar moment, and I decided on a bike instead. So I ducked starting guitar a lot sooner, and that would have been a 70s Les Paul, because I remember talking to the guy about it.
Wow.
But then, time went on, and I borrowed a friend's really shitty Harmony Rocket, which I actually have now.
Amazing.
To learn on, and it was terrible, but I had no idea. It's a guitar. Guitar is a guitar, right? And I think it had the original strings from 1955 on it. You could put like your hand up to the first knuckle under the strings at the 12th fret. Just a beast of a thing, but I didn't know. And so I actually played a guitar of a friend of my sister's. It was a David Wren, a hand-built acoustic. And I suddenly went, oh,
that's what it's supposed to
oh, I wasn't good because the guitar was trying to kill me.
Right.
So that's when I sort of said, okay, we're definitely going to do the guitar thing. And my first real guitar was a 72 SG that I no longer have, but I do have a 72 SG. I went and found one that's pretty much the same. I'm like, it's not my guitar, but yep. Actually, no, I think the one I had, for some reason in the early middle 70s, Gibson did some really shitty things with finish. It was covered in polyurethane. It was super thick, which the guitar I have doesn't. So maybe it was one of I think they went through that period where they called them the Firebrand or the SG. But anyway, I've got a great 72 SG now. Actually, our fifth player in Our Lady Peace, Jamie Edwards, lovely guy, still a good friend, played that guitar with us. Like if you see the Woodstock footage, he's playing an SG. That's the guitar.
Wow, amazing.
Oh, cool.
That's fabulous. That's
I think I got enough sub references in there.
I think so. I know what you're saying. Like my very first guitar I bought in Galway, Ireland, and it was a Hohner, and because it was at the Four Corners store for anyone that's ever been to Galway, and that's where I bought it. I think it was 87p, which I think at the time was about 200 Canadian. And I still have it. I still have it to this day. It's unfortunately broken in a couple pieces, but it's the way it goes. But yeah, I played it. I remember it, and then later on when I started playing acoustics, when at Cosmo Music Store, when that used to be at Yonge and Rutherford, and before the big store, and I remember playing, the Fenders and the Yamahas, and noticing that the action, while I was learning what action was, was
exactly.
Was so much lower, and I was like, oh my god, like you're right. This is not trying to kill me. Like this is actually a dream to play, right?
Well, I mean,
Thankfully, by then I had the calluses, so it didn't matter, right?
oh my
But,
God, my calluses when playing that guitar, I could like turn bacon over in a pan. Because I'm not kidding.
Right.
When I really do think it had the original strings on it because they were black and kind of abrasive. One might even say sharp. If you were to slide your fingers on the plain strings, it probably would bleed.
It probably cut.
But I had no idea. I mean, how do you know if you don't know?
You don't know.
I just picked up the guitar. I mean, the good thing was my ear was pretty good, so I could start to pick out. And this obviously predates the internet, but your ear was good enough to pick out chunks of parts and melodies. And I think Day Tripper was the first thing I ever learned by ear because the Beatles.
Yeah.
It all starts with the Beatles.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then when I played this multiple $1,000 hand built acoustic that was just like on my guitar, I'm like picked up the David went I'm like, okay,
Right.
this Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting, it's not your fault.
Right.
You don't want to know what that guitar did to me.
You'll survive. So tell us about your house growing up, because you are from England. And was it was it the house that you grew up in, and then pre to moving to Ontario? Was it just the one that you grew up in? Did you guys move around a little bit?
We moved out around a ton. I was born in the UK, lived there till I was 3, moved here till I was 10, moved back till I was 18.
And there's that Wikipedia gap. Gotcha.
In each period, there's a bunch of moving around. The house that I remember in the UK was actually a terrace house, which is what we call a row house, but I lived in the north of England, Bradford, just outside Bradford, actually. I was born in, Halifax, but Halifax 1.0.
Okay.
Not Halifax here.
Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Yeah, not New Scotland, just south of the old Scotland is where I'm from. But they're cheek by jowl. And the funny thing I remember about that house is more in retrospect. It was a pretty plain house. I mean, it had central heating, which was quite rare because it was still that area, and it was still a lot of coal fires and coal fireplace with a water tank behind it, and so we were pretty fancy at that point. But I mean, it was a couple of 100 years old, but that's nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like the UK has been there a long damn time. So a couple of 100-year-old terrace houses, that's not like there's going to be a plaque on it.
Yeah, for anybody that's watched House Hunters International, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's well, I have to confess, we watch those a lot. In an utterly bizarre coincidence, I am in the process at this moment of signing offers back and forth, selling my current house.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, it's the market's not exactly fabulous right now for selling, but the good news is as soon as you've done that, you can buy, and then you're really in the driver's seat.
That's exactly it, right? I mean, that's we just had meeting this morning where headlines were coming up saying the market is dead and it's dropping and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, the whole point is that if you want to have an incredible parallel opportunity, you're going to buy when it's low. You're also going to sell when it's low, right? But when the prices start going up, you're the person that's going to benefit from that. Right?
Well, I think there's an argument to be had. I mean, we probably won't do this because we're just grumpy old people. That it would make sense for us now because we're selling in the $2 million range. There's a lot of people desperate to rent out condos that they're bleeding out on. And if we rent for 6 months, maybe we spend 40 grand in rent and storage and save 100 at the other end, because the market is going to continue to fall, I think.
Okay.
But
prediction, heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
I mean, you guys are the experts. What are your thoughts on that?
It's so hard to tell. I mean, listen, all these rate drops have not done a thing to spur the buyers, and I don't think another one will do it either. And it takes time. It takes time to cycle out of this. I think the condo is going to take a lot longer, than your freeholds. That's going to take years. It's going to take some time. It's not happening overnight. I think you're not wrong. This year will be a little soft.
Yeah,
I think.
No, go ahead. No, you're the guest. You go ahead. After you, please.
Oh, with the Canadian standoff. Is that what we got here? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I don't think there's going to be a whole shift dramatically. And I mean, the market's obviously going to stall in about 2 weeks for the holidays.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
spring
It's
market, I don't know if the spring market is going to come on like it usually does. It'll probably come on less because of the lunatic to the south who is destabilizing the economy of the freaking world.
Mhm.
Good job there, Tangerine Twitler. Anyways,
but that's a T-shirt though, right? Like, isn't
Yeah.
it? And if it isn't, you're gonna fuel your next home purchase by the sales of those.
Dorito
Yeah.
Mussolini, another favorite.
Ah, there you go.
That's
I
a
just,
good one.
I just go cheese ball, and that's just my right?
Trumple Thin Skin.
Triple thin skin.
Very
yes.
thin skin. I like that one.
Yeah.
There's I mean, the guy is such a joke. He making fun of him is shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, only 3 more years left.
Oh my God. Well, you assume he's actually going to survive.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
true
right.
too,
That either health wise or cognitive. I think the bets are off that he's going to last the 4 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But to your point, all that said, nothing is changing that quickly. Here,
Exactly.
Right.
So,
You know, Corey's exactly.
it's going to be
right.
a grind.
Yeah,
No doubt.
Corey's exactly right. That I would say that at the beginning when we started to see the interest rates come down and it start to be consistent, that was a lot of optimism. And we thought that it would be optimism because historically, and just from a data point of view, when interest rates go down, action at the very least increases, and generally house prices increase. So I think all that optimism was actually held by most of the real estate agents,
Yeah.
and it just didn't translate
Yeah.
into the buyers and the sellers. And now here we are at the end of the year. It was still a decent year, don't get me wrong, but it certainly was not the year that we would have predicted.
No.
If we thought that this time last
It's
year,
literally the slowest
1.5%.
term in terms of volume this century. And the slowest year previous to that was last year.
Last year.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah,
Fun times.
I mean, year over year, you have a 1.5%, 1.25% interest rate drop. You would think that, things would be flying off the shelf, but it's just not happening. So
Well, let me ask you this, because so many people, when when money was free,
Yeah.
right?
so many people
Right.
mortgaged themselves and over leveraged themselves. Do you think that it's more people are sort of renewing to try to get out of the mortgage bomb coming at them? Because you know what happened when the rates went up? A lot of people got blown up.
Big time. A lot of people double.
Suddenly you got
listen.
double, triple your
Yeah.
monthly nut.
And those are the people that are coming due this year.
And maybe they just roll like remortgage rather than purchase.
Well, this is it. And going back to what we just said, that the last 2 years have been the slowest years. 2021, which is 5 years ago, which is when renewals are due, was the biggest year we ever had. Right?
It was free to borrow money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one of those people, right?
Well,
that it
and then
happens.
the smart people that got into the fixed rates because they foresaw, right?
We're done now, so it's either neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. That's
Well,
that's a big. Well, it's a big. That's a big, a huge accolade to have, right? Is to not have a mortgage underneath you. So yeah.
Well, going back to better times, when you first came to Canada, what were sort of like the big differences you noticed? Like what was like one big difference you noticed from back home?
Far less violent.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. The UK, the north where I'm from, is, I mean,
like the lager louts, that kind of thing.
Just boot boys, skinheads. It's an incredibly violent. When I moved over there when I was like 10, 11, and I don't think I'd ever had a fight at that point. Like, well, I'm 10. That's not unreasonable.
Right.
But basically, I went into school, I think 11, and you kind of start fighting almost immediately because the hierarchy, the social hierarchy is determined by who has beaten you up and who you have beaten up. It's honest to God, like a freaking, like a league system.
Wow.
You used to call it cock of the year, cock of the school was, if you're the cock of third form, nobody has beaten you up and you've taken down anybody that came at you. So I had to learn to fight. And then I came here and I went into high school, I think grade 10, out in Whitby. And I saw my first fight in school. And bearing in mind, and this is no word of a lie, not an exaggeration, the last fight I saw in my school, which was called White Manor, involved a chain.
Oh, wow.
Like a dog's choke chain, but it's a weapon.
Yeah.
The fight that I saw at Henry Street was adorable.
Look at that.
Fist?
It's like, oh, look, that's cute. They're going to dance.
Aww.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Is this how Canadians hug? Is it?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I understand this. It doesn't look like anybody's actually going to win that. But yeah, so that was a huge thing. And the other thing was from a musical perspective, I moved here. I was there when punk rock happened. So I remember hearing like the Stranglers on the radio, early Squeeze, which was, alt, whatever you want to call it, not the Leo Sayer saccharine pop that had been previous.
I like Leo Sayer.
Hey, great songs, and the man can sing, but not the same as when you hear Peaches by the Boomtown Rats on the radio, or early Jam, and the Sex Pistols, of course, but they weren't on the radio because they were dangerous. Dangerous people.
We had Teenage Head.
Yeah. No, I will say honestly, Toronto did develop a great punk scene, but when I moved over from that context of music, and I turned on the radio thinking, okay, what's going on here? And I hear, babe, I'm leaving. I'm like, oh no, what have you done to me, Mom?
We've had him on the podcast.
I mean, again, not throwing stones at the capability. And Todd Zuckerman, the drummer who plays with Styx now, monster player.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing.
So, but it was definitely not, going from from one to the other. I became a very solitary. I'd always been a bit solitary, but I became very solitary here as a skateboarder, which was not really a thing yet in here when I moved here. Okay, one final story about the different vibes that I got. So there I am in one of my first high school classes, and I'm trying to figure things out. I'm wondering, is anybody going to come at me? Am I going to have to fight soon? I don't know. So Mr. Greening, our history teacher, and again, it's, you guys talk about history as 100 years, and that's adorable.
Right.
Very, very cute. And I guess he's executed this curriculum way too many times. He's a little bit broken, I think. So he's droning on at the front of the class. In 1821, a group of men got together in Prince Edward Island, Charlottetown, to draft a document that would become the blueprint for the birth of this country. Does anybody know what we call these people? And I'm like, ooh. I'm like, charlatans?
No.
Crickets.
Crickets.
I'm like, ooh.
Come on,
tough room. Tough room.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, so I'm not going to be the funny kid. Great. I'm going to be the weird kid. All right.
Birthplace of the Confederation.
That's me.
Go PEI.
No, it's supposed to be Fathers of Confederation, but I thought it was too good. You said Charlottetown. I could say
Charlottetown.
It's not genius, but it's a chuckle. And it honestly, it didn't even ripple on him.
That's a
that's
a broken person. That's a broken person.
Yeah.
Or hungover, who knows? I was a kid. I couldn't read them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Or someone that doesn't understand the dry spiritual wit of an Englishman.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. So when you came here, so you're here from 3 to 10, and then you leave, and then you come back again. What was your home like here when you were here? What was it like, of that house and growing up in Whitby?
It was a nice semi-detached in Whitby, and we had me, my mom, my 3 sisters, various cats and dogs and stuff, and it was my niece. My nephews hadn't been born yet, but so it was a big fam jam, and it was nice. However, it was in that awful period where mortgage rates went up to like 17%.
80s,
so
love it.
There was some stress.
Yep.
But I have mainly good memories because I certainly wasn't a breadwinner at that point.
There you go.
You're in high school.
So you've toured all over, and we know you're a Toronto guy now. If you had to remove Toronto from the equation, where else would you like to live in the world?
That's hard. Because the more cities I got to know from touring, the more I like Toronto, honestly.
There you go.
Okay.
There's a handful of cities in the States I like. Obviously the bigger ones. I do remember having a sort of a eye-opening. We did quite a lot of work in New York City, which of course it's New York City. Shut up.
Hey,
but
it's still New York.
But I was actually consulting with a digital company, early internet peoples.
Right.
I had a 14.4 modem. That's how long ago it was.
That's crazy.
And I was actually consulting with the people that wrote the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the DMCA, because I was aware of the digital space. And so we were parked out in Secaucus because it's really expensive to park a tour bus in New York City. So we stay in Jersey. So I hopped on the train, came in, did a couple of meetings, and then went and met the photographer that was going to be shooting us that night because he's going to give me a ride back out to the gig. And he was living in Chelsea, I think 7th and 49th-ish. And I definitely had a moment of, I just went and grabbed a coffee and I was just walking around like, I could live here. This doesn't feel like a place I'm visiting. It is, you know what I mean? But it was a moment of like, yeah, I get this.
But how old were you at the time, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I was over 30. It was when I was in the band. So, you know.
Yeah. Because I used to love New York in my 20s and 30s, but now you couldn't pay me enough to be there.
That's one of the things I love and dislike about New York is it is always in flux.
Yeah.
Like the Village in Soho, not what it was in the 90s.
No.
I mean, CBGB's is a John Varvatos store.
Yes, I've been to it, yes.
I mean, I love John Varvatos, but CBGB's, come on.
I know. It's a shame.
Well, now you got to go over to Williamsburg and Brooklyn, and there's where affordable living happens is where the cool people end up.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. So where is it that you are now, and what is it that brought you kind of to that specific neighborhood? What is it that you loved about it?
I'm in Leslieville, which wasn't called Leslieville when we moved here. We've been in our house 26 years.
Oh, wow.
We've always been in this area, sort of East End, when we because my girl and I met in Oshawa, Whitby, both working in music retail. 40 years this year, she and I.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very, very proud of that. And she seems a lot smarter than to have put up with this shit for 40 years. But
let her know that the 40th year is the buy your spouse a motorcycle year, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want to buy her a motorcycle.
Not her.
She certainly won't ride on mine.
No.
So we moved into Toronto because she got a job at Capitol Records. So she's been in the music industry. She's still in the music industry, has been in it as long as I have. Matter of fact, longer, because I'm kind of not really in it in the last 5-8 years. So that was why we just moved to the east side and liked it. And our first house was over East York-ish, Coxwell and Danforth.
Yep.
And then we moved a little bit further west and south, and that's where we are now. So we're still looking. We're looking at places in East York because this side of the city is fantastic. And I mean, honestly, it was probably more appealing to live in Toronto when you could actually drive through Toronto.
Yeah.
Like we used to be able to go to the West End in 20 minutes. Now it's 45.
Now it's 45. Yeah.
And they're never putting that bridge back, are they? No, it's a shame.
They basically, I mean, other than like putting a flaming trench where the Don Valley is, they couldn't make it worse. They couldn't make it worse. Right. Honestly, I think there was a moment, especially when they took down the Gardner access here at the bottom where the Gardner and the Don Valley meet. I think there was a moment of in Metro Hall, they're having a meeting with taking the minutes. Okay, advice for residents. Okay, beaches and East End. You stay right the fuck there. You don't ever move again.
Yeah. Well, they don't, because it's such
you can't.
You can't. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
That's what brought us here.
So 26 years ago in Leslieville must have been a very different place.
Yeah, coincidentally, where I'm at now, Flying Squirrel, which is I'm part of the ownership group here. It's motorcycles and friends and workspace, and we're just making up shit as we go along.
That's awesome.
You've got some great journey pics of the work that you've been doing that on the Instagram. It's awesome. Yeah.
Horrifying, man. But my studio was right around the corner from here, which I had for many years. And I remember literally
the pocket.
Yeah, the pocket. I remember literally turning the corner that this is on at Knox and Queen one morning at like 9:30 or something, and a lovely lady got my attention. So I rolled down the window and thinking, she's going to ask for directions or something, and she said, "You looking for a date?"
And the response? Sorry.
I was working a double shift, sweetie. I mean, go home. It's done. So yeah, very, very different. But it's, I mean, like I said, when we moved here, it wasn't called Leslieville. It was called, are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes. Bill.
It's
Sure you
changed.
want to move there?
It's
Bill.
changed for sure.
So driving around and touring, talking about being in New York, Jeremy Taggart has some amazing tales from OLP's trips, especially with when he and Torrance did the book Canadianity, notably, the first travel to the prairies that you guys did, the big drive. How ominous that one was. Was there a specific security measure that may have been put into place in that first touring vehicle?
Well, no, because it was completely unsafe. It wasn't. I'm an industrial mechanic by trade. Like I did my apprenticeship,
Yep.
got my 4 years, my 8,000 hours in, got laid off, sat and passed my tickets, and signed the first deal memo for OLP in the same month.
So you're millwright.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so you were a millwright first.
I was actually a millwright apprentice. I was
Okay.
running CNC machines and doing all of that stuff. But it takes 8,000 hours, 4 years of school, and then a really scary test to get your Red Seal
Yes.
tradesman journeyman certificate, which I did. Because the lovely Germans who trained me, they're not lovely when they're training you in the machine trades because they take it very seriously. This is not, I guess I'll do this gig because, I can't get a job in an office. You're a tradesman. That's right. You should be proud of it. And they will make sure you do exceptional work. So I went through that. They were nice enough. They knew cutbacks were coming. They were nice enough to let me and the other apprentice that I was going through with at the same time get our hours in, because there's a minimum number of hours you have to get to finish your apprenticeship. So they like literally a week later they laid me off, and they they were super nice about it because I'd done my best for them. And so I at that point you can sign up to sit your tickets to sit the exam. I did. I passed, signed a recording contract all within about the same month, so that I never actually practiced as a millwright after I became a journeyman millwright.
Amazing.
Oh wow.
Amazing. Life just said, no, over there.
So yeah, right. So you got good welding chops then.
Well, that was kind of, to get back to your question,
yes.
That was the safety measure that happened on our first little half school bus. It was a 4350 van, and I welded a cargo wall halfway, like above the back axle, so that everything, all the amps, and we used to carry a little monitor rig. It would all be behind us, and then the area in the ahead, there was 2 bench seats, and we built a bunk. So somebody would be like loaded like a torpedo above the passenger seat on that side, getting some sleep if possible. Both benches one bench would completely go down, and the other was long enough that you could have, so you could have 3 or 4 people trying to sleep and 2 people at the front, driver, and always, that was the other safety measure, somebody always had to be in the passenger seat, and you have to engage the driver, and you cannot let them get sleepy. Because we did like a couple of 100,000 kilometers in that thing, and that's what you do.
That's what you do at the beginning. Yeah.
Well, that's how you get good. Honestly, we never. I know we get a bit of a. You came out of nowhere things, because we weren't out there beating our brains out right out of the gate, but we had every intention of doing it regardless. We just I think it was basically our second or third decent demo got us signed. We were just making demos to develop and then hopefully get a bunch of gigs and go. When I worked with bands that were new, I would tell them, you need to play 200 shows before you should even think about considering yourself a good performer.
Right.
Because if performing is not just standing on stage playing your instrument, it's not necessarily choreography either, but there has to be a physicality to how you play. I mean, you guys are music guys. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you just see somebody like,
yeah, that's not. Yeah.
I mean, and it's not. You can't even excuse that saying it's chops. If you got great chops, you could just stand there and play. Shut up.
No.
Even Jeff Beck performed, and there has never been a guitar player better than Jeff Beck. There never will be.
That is what I love about the last probably 10 to 15 years is how that professional viewpoint of Jeff Beck is starting to make its way now into fandom of Jeff Beck being the greatest guitarist of all time. Because before you'd say Jimmy Page, Slash, you know, it was Stevie Ray
Hendrix.
Vaughan, like this and that. Yeah, you know, and now it's
Yeah,
like
but they
when
all
people
point to
ask,
Jeff Beck.
Well,
yeah,
I was only
yeah,
going to say, Sheldon, you probably vouch for this. You know, all the guitarists behind you will say this. When you talk to guitar players about, you know, who's the greatest guitar player, and they'll talk about Hendrix or, you know, Beck or not Beck, sorry, Hendrix or Page or Blackmore or Gilmore, or all of these guys. Oh yeah, that doesn't include Jeff Beck. It's just like he's in his own separate column. It's like, yeah, but he's shut up. He's Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite piece of guitar music ever made is "Where Were You," which is just beautiful, melodic. There's very little sort of fast things that you would hear and go, "Oh, that must be difficult." But then when you see him play it, and you realize, oh, it's actually possible to do that with a guitar. And here you are. I remember I saw that tour, Guitar Shops, the record from Jeff Beck, and I saw the tour with him, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Jeff Healey at the Sky Dome. Oh yeah, no, that was another one of those, maybe I shouldn't do this.
Oh, Christ.
But I remember because I loved the record. And I remember Where Were You? Thinking that, man, there's got to be some skullduggery, because there's a whole bunch of stuff where he's actually playing a melody with the whammy bar, like he bend it up with a whammy bar with the volume off, hit a harmonic, fade it up, play a melody on the way down. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Right.
So I thought for sure there's like studio skullduggery going on, until he basically stands there with a pair of like Marshall Majors and a cable, and there it is.
Yeah, that's very Gilmore. Almost all of Estranged, Guns N' Roses, is played like that, right? So it's all on off whammies. It's, you know, it's play with feedback. It's all part of the feedback, right? So it's just amazing. Yeah.
Well, speaking of great bands and great talents, can you tell us a little about the genesis of Crash Karma?
Well, you know Amir, so you know exactly how it happened.
I know Brian and I still chat every now and then to this day. Love him to death. Amir and I just like every now and then we'll shoot a message. But back in the day, you know, we were, you know, that was back when they were, you know, Turning Guide Ring, you know, had come out. And you know, Moot Meat, I think it is, those
Meat Moot,
oh my God, they're so good, right? And then Brian went on to become a Rubbermaid drummer, and you know, what was he? He was on Breakfast. He was on, I think he posted the video when he was on the Breakfast Television at one time. It was fantastic. So, but I remember when he was doing that. Like I remember when we were teens, and then that was happening. It was great. So, but
I mean, Zygote were a cool band. They came to the studio. I produced a record for them. I think maybe I produced 2 records. I don't remember, but I definitely did one. And Amir is he's a force. You know, if he gets his mind set on something, he'll figure out a way, however circumlocutus the path is, he'll get it to where he needs it to be. After we'd made the record, you know, I produced a couple of songs for him as well. Apparently, because he was the primary writer in that and with Crash Karma, actually, he had talked to a friend and had found a way to get in touch with Edwin, because he thought, I'd like to write with him. And Edwin's always looking for material, and he's going to do another record. So I'm going to write with him. And Amir's version of the story is he's on the way to meet with Ed. And it occurs to him, it's like, wouldn't it be cooler to actually be in a band with him?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And because with Zygote, they had worked with Andy Kern a bit at SRO. And Amir's wheels are turning. Andy Curran, SRO, Tea Party, not busy right now. Jeff Burrows, right? I know Mike. I can call Mike anytime. So he basically, in classic lawyerese, talked to Edwin in vague terms and said, "Hey, this band would be great. You, me, Burrows, Turner." I'm thinking this would be a really fun thing, you know. But enough tone and context that Ed thought, well, I'm the holdout.
Right.
So he's like, yeah, man, that sounds pretty cool. You know, I think that'd be amazing. I love those guys, because we all know each other from back in the day.
Yep.
And apparently Amir came out of that meeting and is like getting in touch with Curran to try to talk to Burrows, to try to talk to me. each one of us, Burrows, me, and Edwin, all thought we were the last guy required to say yes.
Right. Genius. It's a genius way to
That
put
is
together
genius.
a band. Yeah.
Funnily enough, I actually ran into Jeff, just from Windsor, one of my favorite fucking humans, like just
Also
top drawer.
Renostate Rocks alum. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love. Yeah. Jeff is just a fabulous guy. Yeah.
absolutely.
I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times, and he's just always been nothing but nice. And graceful, and that is a genuine human being.
And
right?
a
So yeah.
beast of a drummer.
And a fucking awesome drummer.
But I actually ran into him completely coincidentally in Vancouver. He happened to be in Vancouver. I happened to be in Vancouver. We happened to be at the same sushi restaurant. So he walks over. I was like, "Hey, what's this Amir guy? What's that all about?" So I told him I worked with him and that it was good and we should give it a shot. So
That's fabulous. Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff is my. And I think I told him this too. Embarrassingly enough, he is my second favorite drummer in the history of the world. So, but yeah, no, you said Taggart. Jeremy Taggart is my favorite. So. And
I've been very lucky then.
And I'm not being paid to say that because he's also my drum teacher. But Jeremy Taggart was always my favorite drummer. As soon as I heard him, and as soon as I heard his style, and him, just the way that he produces his whole cadence on the snare, which is just so original from so many different people, and it just brought such a different sound. Doesn't play with a double bass pedal, doesn't need it. A background and a love of jazz, right? It's just like, this is like the perfect specimen of a drummer.
Great.
So,
And I think the amazing thing about Jeremy is he, and this is the guy that played with him for a long time. His drumming
what band was
is kind of subversive. And I say that, I choose that word carefully because, and this is something I love about what I call subversive music is that the musicality doesn't declare itself until you start looking. Like if you, Subdivisions by Rush, we all know the tune. We could sing the tune, we hum the tune, Count the Bugger. It changes time signatures all over the place. There's chunks of odd time. But you don't notice it. It doesn't go like, "Hey, I'm doing something really difficult. Check me out." And Jeremy's stuff, if you perform any kind of analysis of some of our songs, it's actually ridiculously complicated what he's doing. It doesn't ever sound like it.
Yeah.
And a big part of that was Arnold. Not saying that obviously Jeremy's capability was what he brought to the table, but Arnold was great at going, "Hey, that thing you do with the snare drum." Funny you should mention it because Arnold was very specific about that. He would basically tell each of us, whatever it is that you do that's you, do that more. Do that till you think you're doing it too much, then do it twice that much. So all of the grace notes and drag rolls on the snare and the clang that we chose on Naveed, that was all something where just lean into it. Like just do it until you think you're going to make people sick of it, then do it some more. With me, it was the sort of wide voice, open voicings, a bit angular. And Rain, Arn was, it could be pretty merciless sometimes because we'd be playing, he's like, "Well, this ain't going to be about chops except for Taggart." I'm like, "All right, I'll take it. I'm not mad at that." And with Rain, he was like, "Dude, all those sort of hiccups and yelps and stuff, do more of those."
Do more of those.
Because
definitely more prominent in Clumsy for sure.
Both Naveed and Clumsy were Arn, and I think the third record, I think that was actually a high watermark for the band. It's certainly in my time, because it's again, it's genuinely subversive. I mean, there are a couple of tricks that I've noticed in hindsight, going, "Oh, we did that a lot." Oh, okay. So let's have the open, expansive verse, and then we're gonna have a little tiny pre-chorus, and then we're gonna have an explosive chorus. How many times did we do that? Might be quicker to say how many times didn't we do that on the third record.
Yeah. Forget the formula. We're going to be our own band.
Well, now people say formulas, though it's a bad thing, but there is a formula to how to make a sentence with a noun and a verb and to communicate effectively based on that structure. Right. And that's to me what music should do.
Form is everything. No?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I look at it's funny, like I've got a weird way of thinking of things, but when I think of something like a formula, I think of less of a formula for structure, because generally the bands that I will gravitate towards are like very odd in the way that they put songs together. The Tea Party, for example, is one of my favorites. Tool, you know, that kind of idea.
I think Tool's a
Um,
pop band.
I'm more lean towards the prog rock, you know, genre,
But
you know,
no,
alternative genre, you know, kind of
yeah,
idea.
but I stand by. Tool are a pop band because every
Interesting.
4 bars they're throwing you another tasty little hook or a little melody, or there's always something. They're always keeping you engaged.
Well, then
And that
Tool's
now
version will be
they're
like
doing it by yeah,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Try to count Numa. Go ahead.
Right. Well, yeah. Even I don't even know if Danny Carey can count Numa, right? Well, I mean, if anybody can, he's the only one that can. But
I think I
um,
saw Adam saying it's in like 31/8 or something. I'm like, well, just shut your stupid mouth,
Right.
Adam.
right.
31/8. You're making shit up. That's not a real time signature.
Well, it's funny because there are points that do hit 15/8, 16/8, and do repeat. So I think that's where he's getting it from.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
I
which
only
is
know
funny.
I honestly I only know that because I watched the whole Drumeo you know YouTube channel on it.
But that's what I stand by that with Tool because they're never just, you know, coasting along for 8 bars with everything being the same. There's always something developing.
every song is a story and it's a journey and it's a tale. It's a 3-part movie. And yeah, it's what it is. The one where I'm going with this is that what I think about it, like when I think about like Taggart, for example, Burrows, and any other drummer, right, that I really enjoy, is it's the groove to me is the formula. It's being able to sit there and to be, you know, no pun intended, but to sit in the pocket and to have that groove and to hear that and to feel that, right? As long as you can keep that going, you've got a formula. You're able to
So,
do it. This is my
so
weird way to
basically,
think.
Tool is Leo Sayer.
Sure.
But not in the tight pants.
No,
Yeah.
and they don't make me feel like dancing. I'll be honest.
Boy, who can dance to 31/8? Although I will say, you know, the musicality of a drummer is a big thing too, because I mean, they're kind of driving the bus and making everybody play together. I mean, this again, as a producer, I learned this from Arn and Bob Rock to a degree, and brought that to the table whenever I was working with the band. It's like, okay, rhythm section, can you guys hear each other? Because there's cross purposes here. I'm not saying you're going to go meow, 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 meow. Not so simple, but there's a reason why we play together. A great example is Starlight by Muse.
Okay.
You know, the piano's a dum bum bum da dum 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 da 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 dum. Not coincidentally, the drums go dum 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 da dum 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 da 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 dum dum. So there's internal reference and support. And Jeremy was always great at that. Like Arn would push him towards that, but he definitely developed an awareness and ears to hear if there's something going on, I got to be there. By the same token, me and Coots and Rain would like, hey, what are you doing with that? Oh, we're gonna push that to an and. Oh, okay. So you know, the musicality of drums is underrated. I think people seem to think of them just as sort of autonomous timekeeper. I mean, Burrows did a great thing. We're there's a tune on the Crash Karma record. I think it's on the second record called On My Own, and it's, man, I have so many memories of just laughing my face off with Crash Karma. There was just always fun. We're in the studio and we're talking about the drum part, and it's so it's like, okay, can we have the snare be 1 and the next 2 and the next 1 and the next 3, and we're sort of mouth drumming, you know, to Burrows, and Burrows is like, oh yeah, I think I know what you mean. He's and it starts to bring it up to speed. I mean, hit record.
It's magic, people. It's magic.
As though there's any chance that he's not going to crush it. But I love the humor, you know, the modesty. He doesn't have the whole like, yes, I'm a brilliant drummer and you should be honored.
Right.
Just having a laugh.
Yeah. No, he's great. He's fabulous. Yeah.
I'm just a monster player. I've been unfairly lucky about the drummers I've had to stand in front of.
That's great.
Yeah. No, you've been in front of my favorite drummer. So yeah. But
both of them.
Yeah, there you go. So your style of playing, I describe it a lot of like spiritualistic, punky kind of undertones that are in there. Was this like a purposeful sound that you were trying to gain? Did it come naturally? You know, like, or did it just kind of happen, but with maybe like an influence from somebody? Like you had like my favorite band was blah, you know, and then, oh yeah, now that I hear that, I kind of hear that a little bit myself.
If I was to say it was completely purposeful, I would be really blowing my own horn. I think it was a combination of things. The music I loved. I mean, I think honestly, if you take Brian May, Alex Lifeson, The Edge, and Robert Guthrie from the Cocteau Twins and put them in a blender,
Jesus.
well, it would be messy. But
Yeah.
those are the sort of things. Those were the guys that always caught my ear.
And it'd be a big blender.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and very
Probably
red.
Getting a lot of trouble. But I mean, the thing with all of those individuals is, and this is hindsight, is they all had a unique voice. And so now I do have to give Aaron credit for, he caught me very much in my Edge phase. When we first started working, I had a lot of delays.
Yeah.
I could out edge the Edge.
You could out edge the
now,
Edge.
Now, and this is the funny thing, because there is no court of appeal for the crime I'm about to outline. I didn't copy Edge. I had got a delay because of Brian May's song, solo Brighton Rock.
Right.
And I had because Brian doesn't use it in the dotted eighth note style. It's usually quarter notes. So he's like row, row, row your boat, plays against his own harmonies.
Right.
But I had a shitty little, analog pedal that couldn't go as long as the tape delay he used. And that's when I sort of discovered that dotted eighth note bounce back. I was like, holy shit. Granted, if I look back, there's a band called FM, had a song called Phasers on Stun, played by the crazy, brilliant Nash the Slash that did it, and Run Like Hell, Pink Floyd. There are other examples of it, but I wasn't copying any of those. I just found it and I thought, oh, I found my thing.
Yeah.
So I beat that thing into the dirt. And then when we started working with Arnie, he's like, The Edge does that. Like, yeah, but
Yeah.
No, there will be no appellate procedure. You have copied him. But I did it for sir. Yeah. I'll give you $50 to turn the delay off. Oh, I needed $50.
Yeah,
there you go.
So yeah,
I'm a professional now.
Exactly. 50 whole dollars.
I finally got paid to make music.
Well, Mike, you've given us so much time already. We really appreciate it. A couple quick things, and then we'll get you out of here. How does that sound?
Yeah, no worries. I'd sort of bookmarked till 2, so we're good.
Okay. We'll sneak this in there real quickly. Where did the name Empty come from, and what is Empty up to these days?
As long as it's not obvious, like like that. That's the part of the question. As long as it's not,
It's very obvious. My initials.
That's it, huh?
MT.
We were hoping for something else.
Well, there was ages ago. There was a music store in Oshawa called Alto 2, which is one of the first places I bought gear. And Dave, the guy who ran it, hey MT, as opposed to full. Yeah. That was the only way it became into a word thing.
Yeah, that's a Canadian groan right there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we have we're into, this is our third season doing this, and this season seems to be going on for over a year now, but we'll end it eventually. We started this kind of thing that we do, something called Best and Worst, and it's supposed to be like a kind of like a rapid fire. First thing that comes to your mind, just give an answer. They're harmless questions, but let's see how you do. You ready?
I'll try not to be shockingly verbose.
Please be shockingly verbose. Yes. Best place in the world you've performed.
Best place in the world we've performed?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you kind of caught me off guard on that one.
That's the point.
I'm probably going to say Maple Leaf Gardens.
Oh, wow.
Just because it was, I saw Queen there twice. I saw AC/DC there. So to actually walk onto that stage, that was a pretty staggering moment.
That's a special venue. It really. The Beatles played there.
Yeah. Well, everybody.
Who didn't?
There, right? Who didn't play there? Yeah. I would have also accepted Jim B at Brock University. As your second favorite.
I'll fill in the blanks on that one.
So
pretend I remember it.
Yeah. What's funny about that is because I was there, but I had just seen you guys open for Van Halen at the amphitheater. And,
nice.
And it's like I go from like amphitheater seeing you guys, and then to the gym at Brock, and I'm like, what happened in the
You know,
3 weeks?
That was that. Well, that's funny because we actually just filled in a few dates because that tour continued on for a while. The Van Halen tour, we did like 85 dates with them.
Yeah.
But because we'd sort of got on that particular train, and it was basically going amphitheater to amphitheater to amphitheater. You're very isolated. Again, there was no internet, no cell phone. It was what it was, and we would get reports of the singles doing this, we're getting that there. But because when we left for the Van Halen tour, we played the Friendship Festival the day before, and we were like, 6th on the bill or something. And it was touch and go in the early days in terms of whether it was going to work out. And then while we were away, Starseed happened in the U.S., which was where we were, so it happened, quote unquote, and then it kind of retroactively came back and got its feet and got moving here, such that when we came back, I do remember one show, the Spectrum in Montreal, was in that same period, where we booked the show and we're like, oh, I don't know, man. Last time we were in Montreal, we played like Fufun and we didn't quite fill it, and are we going to be okay? And it was rammed to the rafters with absolute mania.
Wow.
It's like,
what a feeling, eh?
Oh, didn't see this coming. Like it. Didn't see it coming.
That's fantastic. Okay, what is the worst place in the world you've performed?
Oh.
You just said Fufun.
Fufun was, I got no bones with Fufun, although Taggart almost knocked himself out cold. Fufun stage right, the entrance is stairs that come up to the stage, but there's a really low roof. And if you don't pay attention and you stand up, which Taggart did, he just basically cranked his head down to between his shoulders and just about blacked out. Worst place we ever played. I am going to say, how about worst gig? Because I like all the places that I've seen. Okay. We played a show on a Tuesday night in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to the bar staff.
Wow.
I think that was on the first record, maybe first or second record. I was like, there was literally nobody showed up.
That's amazing. Yeah. And how was the show?
No recollection. Other than I think the staff are like, you don't have to play if you don't wanna. I'm like, well, we're here anyway. The gear's up.
We're gonna get the road miles.
We can use the rehearsal.
Yeah, exactly.
So how about the best food and the worst food you've had on the road?
Worst food, that's a really competitive field because there's a lot of garbage and you just eat some. Exactly. It's like, whatever. I need calories, and this kind of reminds me of food. It'll do. Best food on the road. We've had a bunch of good meals. That was the thing is OLP was not, at least in my tenure, was not a party band per se. So, there were other things we did. Like I bought guitars and running shoes. Went to nice restaurants when I could. And obviously this was later in the career we did it. But I think maybe one of the best meals, just for the context. I mean, I had a great meal at the original Nobu in Tribeca. That's one of that goes in like way up there on the culinary world.
Yeah.
The first date of the Page and Plant dates that we did was amazing because we had no idea that catering existed. It's like me with the guitar when I started. I was like, what do you mean there's catering? Oh, you just go and you show them your lanyard and you eat. And there was, I remember it was Moroccan stuffed pork chops with couscous.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And we're just like, well, I've been eating flat food for weeks, pizza, cold cuts, whatever. And I'm like, this is delightful. I'm just like, and we could just, who do we, how much does this cost? They're like, oh no, it's just eat what you want. And if you want more, go get more. I'm like, I didn't know it could be like this. And then somebody walks over and says, oh, hello, I'm Robert. I'm like, you never have to say that, Robert Plant.
Yeah, right.
Like, you never have to say that. Everybody you meet knows who the fuck you are.
You can just.
He was such a gentleman. But such a gentleman. Hello, I'm Robert. Very nice to have you. Really like the song. If there's anything that's a problem, or if there's anything we do to help, just let me know and have a great time. And I'm just sitting there like,
beautiful.
Holy fuck.
Who am I?
Jesus Christ.
I actually saw him last week before.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I saw him.
Yeah, he played it. Did he play at Massey?
Yeah, Massey Hall with Saving Grace.
Right.
I actually saw that a couple of years ago. I was in London, in the UK, and my girl was doing business there, and so she had to go to Paris and London. So I just said, "Well, meet you in London, sweetie." And I got bumped on my flight from like 11 till 3 in the morning. So I'm complaining on social media, "You go and book Air Canada." And our old lighting designer from the OLP Arena Tour days, Brent, responded. So, "Oh, you're going to London? I'm going to be there working. I'm setting up a tour." Guess which tour it was? So he got us tickets and guest list to the show in London. And it was one of the early days of Robert working with that group of musicians. And it's just gotten so goddamn good. And his voice was perfect.
Oh, it's sustained, right? Like, I mean, it's unbelievable, right?
Yeah, it's stunning. I mean, he's 78.
Yeah. Well, it's the difference between somebody that's a rock star and somebody that's a talent, right?
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, he's just incredible.
And the context of the music that they're with Saving Grace, because I think if I remember right, Saving Grace kind of existed, and they were like pubs and stuff, and he saw them, went, "Well, that's rather good. We should do things, and it'll be good." And it's really good.
Yeah, no, it's fabulous. Absolutely.
Love it.
Okay, best guitar or your favorite guitar that you own, and then worst instrument that you've attempted to play.
Oh, I got that one nailed down.
Okay.
I love my Tom Andersons. Those are the ones that when I got them, I was like, well, there's everything I need. They're basically a copy of a great 60s Telly, like a 68 Telly.
Okay.
Nice even neck. You can beat the crap out of them, because I'm pretty awful to guitars. I have a very heavy right hand. I hit hard. I was with OLP, I think I was using 12 to 56.
Wow.
Because I mean, we're down a half step, so I'm not completely insane, but I just wouldn't put up with any lighter strings. I would just knock them off the guitar.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andersons, they use the Buzz Featon system because I don't know if you've been down the rabbit hole of tempered versus just temperament.
Not really. No, I just
Yeah, if you for example, have you ever tried to play is it Running with the Devil? I think it's Running with the Devil.
Okay.
If you don't flatten the B string by about 10 hertz, 10 cents, it won't sound right.
Right.
Because the major third is always sharp in the tuning of a guitar. Like that's just the nature. If you ever sit down with a guitar, and this is just a funny thing to show people, this is what it is. Guitar is equally out of tune at all places. That's what I mean by tempered.
Yeah.
So if you take a guitar and just tune by ear, play an E major chord and tune by ear, so there are no beats, so it's just like perfectly in tune with itself. Then play a C major chord and it'll sound like shit.
Right.
Because that's tempered tuning. When you tune it, that's taking the tempering out of it. If you tune the E major perfectly, that's to just temperament. And then when you try to play an instrument that's like, we punched in so much shit over the years because Aaron liked to hear just temperament instead of tempered tuning. So that became a bit of a drag. And that brings me to the like, those guitars are as close to just temperament as you're ever going to find. And that brings me to the worst instrument, hammered dulcimer.
Okay.
I was producing a band called The Fox and the Moon. They have a great song called Compass. And I was also at the same time obsessed with the second Civil Wars record. And there's a beautiful tune called Eavesdrop. And it's got this gorgeous hammered dulcimer part. And I'm like, that's amazing. Samples don't sound right. So I went and actually bought a Persian Santur, which is the same thing, but you just tune it differently instead of quarter tones. It's semitones. I must have tuned that thing for 90 minutes.
They couldn't figure it out.
Oh, well, I eventually played the part for like, I did the part on the record, but it was terrible. And I just realized the learning curve on this is so massive. It's irrelevant for me to ever try to play it again. I still have it.
Right.
But I'm just looking at you going, I wanted to be friends with you, and I did everything I could. You just didn't come back at me. So we're done.
There you go.
I'm not putting in my 10,000 hours into you.
So I think we've established that Jeff Beck is, your favorite in terms of musicianship and whatnot. Who is somebody that's popular who you think is just absolutely not a great musician?
if there's anybody that I would say that to, honestly.
Yeah.
You know,
You
I
have
don't.
to say that to them. Nobody listens to our
No, no one's
podcast.
gonna. Yeah, we won't tell them.
Well, you know who I really. No. I think if you listen hard enough, you can hear the truth in anybody's playing. As long as they're honest, and I get that sense of it, I'm good. If I hear something I feel that's completely just disingenuous and bland,
Yeah.
then I don't think they're a bad musician. They're boring. They're just not interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered politics? That was a good answer. That was a very.
That's a good answer.
If I can get a gig in the diplomatic corps, I'm in.
All right. Best part about England and worst part about England.
I'll go with the worst part. That's the violence and
Violence, okay.
the classicism. Classicism? Yeah, the class structure.
Is it still like that these days?
I mean, I haven't lived there in a very long time, but when
Yeah.
I was there, it was very, very class structured.
Yeah.
Like if you were lower class, middle class, working class, upper class, there was no getting out of your lane, and that was just how it was.
Yeah.
Very upstairs, downstairs. You know, Downton Abbey. The servants and the aristocrats, they're not the same. The best thing about the UK is the diversity of music. When I was growing up, like I said, the year that I was ready to leave, I mean, the number one hit could have been the pipe and drum band of the Black Watch doing, you know, a bagpipe piece. It could be Leo Sayer. It could be the Boomtown Rats. It could be, I mean, my God, in 1999 when we were touring the Stereophonics there, the damn Hamster song was number one.
Yeah.
So
That
I mean,
is a good song.
you could have anything be in the charts. It wasn't so genre specific. It's not like you've got your AOR station, your rock station, your country station. It didn't matter.
It was
So-
everything.
And that I think that's why the UK music scene has always been so so vibrant. You know, most of the cool shit comes from the UK because there is this whole like we do anything.
Yeah.
You know,
And, well, that keeps it interesting and that keeps
Absolutely.
it fun, right?
yeah. I mean, the whole death of genre thing it's a thing. I mean, have you guys listened to Sleep Token?
Yes. Yes, I have.
What the hell is it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like it. There's parts of it that get too far down a particular path for me, but
Yeah.
it's all up in the air. What do you want to do?
But that's how I feel about The Darkness, another English band.
I was
love
looking.
Yeah.
I was looking at a clip from Justin just a little while ago, actually yesterday, I think.
I love those guys.
And apparently his problem with cocaine has been sublimated into a problem with tattoos.
Okay, well,
Looks like he's starting to run out of real estate, but he's a great
Yeah.
singer, a great player, a great writer. That first record,
yeah,
Yeah.
He's a great performer too.
He's a
Top-
great performer.
absolutely.
Yeah. No, he really is. The guy has chops, right? Like he did. I mean, I don't know him.
But they could only come out of England. To your point.
Agree. Agree.
Yeah. There's something unbelievably campy about the darkness. But
Yeah,
when you
great.
but it works though, and you listen to it, and you're like, yes, this is a real rock band.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
But-
not
but,
dark
you know,
at all. I mean,
Yeah.
No.
what's the archery on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what? There's so much humor. I mean,
yeah.
in what
It's
they
great.
do,
It's great.
there's a huge tongue-in-cheek aspect where they're
Yeah.
taking the piss of themselves, which is like
Well-
another very English trait.
Like the
Get your
last time
hands
we
off
saw-
my woman, motherfucker.
Yeah, like the last time
And
we
way up
saw-
high.
Yeah, last time we saw anything
good.
like that was like the presidents of the United States of America,
Yep.
who just became this phenomenon, who were just such a tongue-in-cheek campy band. But like, yeah, the guy played bass with one string, right? But he then went on to become, was it Casper Baby Pants? Is that his name? He went like 36 children's albums and everything, and
Oh no, I didn't know
yeah,
that. That's
no, went
amazing.
on to have this huge career. Yeah, it was just fabulous, right? But yeah,
All
no,
right.
but those guys could play. So all right, two more.
Mike,
Go
two
ahead.
more real quick. The obvious one, following the previous one. Best part of Toronto, worst part of Toronto.
Worst part of Toronto is the traffic.
Yeah. I knew that was
Fabulous.
coming. Yeah,
Fabulous. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, way to be relevant.
Best part of Toronto is the food scene.
Yeah.
We
Ah,
have
that's
so
great
many,
answer.
so many great restaurants.
We
Yeah.
take it for granted.
Oh my God, do
it's
we
true.
ever?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I've got this little Italian place, near me called Sarpa, and it's one of like a group of restaurants, but it is just it's hands down
Well,
probably the best Italian restaurant I've ever eaten in.
I mean, we got
And it's
Pizza
this little
Pizza
tiny
and
hole in
Pizza
the wall.
Nova.
Yeah, right. Okay. Second.
Don't you threaten me.
Okay, one more. Best part of Rain Maida.
Best part of Rain Maida, no matter what, you will believe he believes what he's saying. And that was when I hired him.
That.
When I hired him, the fact was, not a great singer when he first came out. The audition format we used to use was, we'd say, here's the 5 tunes we're going to do. It's like a Northern Pikes tune, a 5440 tune, and whatever. So we'll play some covers, and then we're going to try to create. So, I mean, we were always able to do something off the cuff. It wasn't necessarily good, but we could do it. And now, here you go, do something.
Yeah.
And I do remember thinking at the time, because we had singers coming who were like technically really strong singers, like great pitch and all the things you're supposed to do as a singer, but I just didn't care. But Rain, I was like, okay, I know he's completely into what he's doing. And that's the kind of intensity, you can't make that up.
Yeah, and he could play guitar as well. So it helped with, I assume it helped with the writing and but okay, worst part of Rain Maida.
He's a singer.
Yeah.
He's a singer.
You don't have to answer.
No.
Okay, here's my singer joke. We could do a whole bunch of musician jokes, but we'll just stay with the one that I like best from the singer. How many singers does it take to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
Just one. They hold up their hand. The world revolves around them.
Hi-yo. I like it.
And with that,
good.
gentlemen, who's somebody? It sounds like in the background somebody was trying to kill a clown, but
No, that's somebody trying to start a motorcycle, not knowing
Yeah.
I'm on a Zoom call.
it's okay.
But that's okay. I'm going to
Well,
go and help him start it because we're at Flying Squirrel.
No. What you have to do is you have to
Everywhere.
make sure that he subscribes, and that'll
Okay, we'll do
then
that.
we'll be okay.
That's
Mike
okay.
Turner, thank you so much, man. It was
My
an
pleasure,
absolute
guys.
pleasure to talk to you. I'm happy
Absolutely,
you
man.
made your
Let me know when you kind of. I assume you're going to cut this down. Let me know how it turns out.